Blast off.
Here we go. Welcome everyone to Recovered, Two Friends, One Path. I am Jessica and I'm an addict.
My name is Kathy. I'm an alcoholic.
So we've agreed to do a 12-step series, but we've decided to tell y'all a little bit about how the 12 steps got started first. So if y'all are interested in hearing the story, Kathy's going to take the lead on this and tell y'all a little bit about how Alcoholics Anonymous came to be Alcoholics Anonymous.
All right, first, mission statement.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Disclosure.
Ooh, yeah, we got to do that.
Disclosure. This is solely our opinion. We are not affiliated with any group or program. Our sole purpose is to help others fighting addiction and or alcoholism, and to offer help and knowledge of how we stay sober. This is 100% raw. This is 100% real. We tell war stories. We cry. We laugh, but we do recover. All right. Later on, I'll be giving out the 1-800 numbers. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do it now and after. Helpline 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. Always, you can go to findtreatment.gov. That's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Kratom hotline 1-866-210-1303. Suicide hotline 988. Never a reason you can't call somebody.
Get help if you need it, y'all. We love y'all. We love you.
Yes, we love y'all. All right, so give you a little bit of history on AA. We're going to talk about how Bill and Bob came to know each other. And Jessica's going to read a little bit.
Let me find it. Where was we at? We was at forward to the second edition, and it was, there we go. Forward to the second edition. The spark that was to flare onto the first AA group was struck at Akron, Ohio in June 1935 during a talk between a New York stockbroker and an Akron physician. 6 months earlier, the broker had been relieved of his drink obsession by a sudden spiritual experience following a meeting with an alcoholic friend who had been in contact with the Oxford groups of that day.
Okay.
She'll tell you that. Hold on. She'll tell you. We'll go back to that after I finish this, who the Oxford group is. He had also been greatly helped by the Dr. William D. Silkworth, and a New York specialist in alcoholism who is now accounted no less than a medical saint by AA members. We'll stop there, but she's going to tell you who the Oxford group is and who Dr. Silkworth is.
I'm going to break it down, kind of. You know, that's all. I'm just going to break it down
for him.
In our lingo.
Go ahead.
So, Bill goes to Akron, Ohio. He's trying to strike a business deal. Business deal goes to shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's sitting there and he's like, I ain't even got enough money to pay for this freaking hotel room. What the fuck? I mean, what the heck? And he's kind of in a bind, and he looks over and he sees a bar with all
the night light,
the cigarette smoke, and he's like, I think I'll go over and hang out with people of my kind. But then he remembered that at home in New York, whenever he felt the urge to drink, to call someone. So he goes up and he calls this lady named...
There was a bar here and a phone booth there.
Yep.
And so my thing is always, what would have ever happened if he would have chose the bar?
Yep.
Where would we be now?
We'd be dead.
We would all be dead. And that is like so amazing that he chose not to drink, and our fate rested on that one man and that one decision.
Yep.
Keep going.
He called Henrietta...
I can't pronounce her last name.
Yeah. Henrietta was
Butner,
a member of... No, Steen... You wrote it down somewhere. Henrietta. He called her, and she said, yeah, I know a guy. He said, let me call Ann Smith. And Ann Smith is Dr. Bob's wife, and it was actually the day before Mother's Day. And Henrietta called Ann and said, hey, there's a guy here from New York City that says he may have a solution
to alcoholism.
Mm-hmm. And so Ann was like, well, the problem is It's the day before Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
He bought me a potted plant, and it's on the table, and he's potted on the floor below it drunk. So it'll have to be tomorrow. And so she told Dr. Bob, and Dr. Bob was like, fudge that, I ain't, nah, I don't, They kept on him, and then the next morning, he went over to Henrietta's to meet the New York stockbroker who may have a solution to alcoholism, as he would put it. And they got in there and they literally talked. And Dr. Bob was like, I'll give this man 15 minutes.
They were gone hours. It was like 2 or 3 hours.
They were gone for hours.
Hours
and
and hours.
Dr. Bob come out and was like, there's somebody who drinks like me. And
I'm not alone. I'm not
Yeah.
unique. I'm not a snowflake, you know.
And Dr. Bob, see, the thing about it is, the Oxford group was big back then, and Oxford group is a religious based. I want to say it was originated in Ohio, and AA goes off, or I'm sorry, not AA. Other programs go off the 4 absolutes.
What are the 4 absolutes? I need to look those up.
Yeah,
I can't
please.
remember.
Well,
Where's my phone? Those are great too.
Um,
Where's my phone go? I have that. Keep talking.
the 4 absolutes. I've got it written down, but
I'll be on. Just keep talking.
and being an alcoholic, trying to practice 4 absolutes of anything, the only thing I could practice absolutely was I was absolutely going to get drunk. I mean, so anyway, that was a hard thing to start early in my sobriety. Okay, so nevertheless,
Okay, the 4 absolutes of
Yes.
AA are honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love.
yes,
And they were the 4 absolutes of Alcoholics Anonymous were considered yardsticks in the earliest days of the program and standards for determining an appropriate behavior as measured through God's eyes. And the 4 absolutes are what you had to measure if you were doing something properly in AA.
so Henrietta was a member of that, and so was Dr. Bob. So when Bill called Henrietta, that's how Henrietta come into place. They were both members of the Oxford group. Now, whenever Bill went to Bob, he said, he was surprised. He's like, oh shit, you're already a member of the Oxford group? Because Ebby Thatcher, Ebby Thatcher is one of Bill's best friends from like back in the day. They would pull some shit.
They got drunk all the time. They were doing crazy stuff.
Bill actually said, if I ever get as bad as Ebby Thatcher, I'm done.
Yeah, done for. Couldn't even live that way.
Yeah. And that's how bad. And then Ebby comes knocking on his door one day, and Bill's all excited. He's like, hell yeah, my damn drinking partner's back.
But to his surprise, he was sober. He had found religion. He had found religion. You couldn't even recognize him. He didn't even know who he was.
Yes.
He walked in and he was like, oh my God, who was this person before me? Some of us have experienced that before when we get sober. You see somebody, you're like, wait a minute.
And that's what Bill did. He was like, here, this damn clean shaven, hat in the hand, not falling down. What the hell happened to you? And he said, I got religion.
Found that spiritual experience that everyone talks about as a result of the 12 steps.
Yeah, from the Oxford group. And Bill was like, yeah, like that's going to keep me from drinking. So Bill didn't, he was like, eek. Well, Dr. Silkworth, he actually was a doctor up at Towns Hospital in Akron, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
He had scared the shit out of Bill the last time. And Bill overheard Silky, is what they call him, Silkworth, and Lois, which is Bill's wife, overheard him saying that,
if he wasn't drinking, that we're going to put him over to the asylum or to the mortuary, right?
Or he's going to die of DTs.
Mm-hmm.
He is incurable. You're going to have to hire a bodyguard. And, he's going to be put in the same asylum from wet brain. And Bill overhearing Silkworth and Lois kept him sober for a little bit until Armistice Day.
Mm-hmm. So what happened? 1947?
Armistice Day. Let me see, because I do have to write that some of that dates down. I know it by heart, but Silkworth. Armistice Day, 1934. His mind told him it was okay to drink,
And he had had a little bit of sobriety.
Yeah, and his mind, you know.
We have a disease that lives up here that wants us dead, and so it will lie to us, cheat us, and tell us anything to make us relapse.
What does your voice sound like?
You know, I don't think it is necessarily a voice. It's more of like just a want or an inkling or a feeling that pushes me towards that. I don't know if Priscilla actually talks to me and says, hey, let's go do something stupid. Now, I've talked to my own self like one is just enough. I've heard my own voice say one, or how I hear my own voice in my head. Why?
Because, you know, everybody, not everybody, but people I talk to, they're like, you know, I have a voice and it sounds like me.
Yeah, it does sound like me. My voice sounds like me.
It sounds like me saying, it's okay, it's okay. You know, and that's where the whole mind, you know, before you take a drink, it is described that a craving is something after you take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's that phenomenon
of craving. That's anything from here down. And then before that, you mentally obsess about it.
That's the truth. They say that the relapse starts.
Illness.
The relapse starts way before you ever pick up. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you may have a friend that has gone through some things and you've seen the change happen in them, like, you know, that you're recognizing that something's different. A lot of times you're seeing that that change in them and maybe bringing it to their attention. Hey, look, you've been a little more negative than normal, or you've been talking about it more often and romancing it a little bit more, because those relapses start long in our head, long before we actually do something. And it's usually done by behaviors and the ways that we say things and do things. Quit going to meetings, quit calling sponsors, start talking about how easy it could be just to have one. Those are those types of behaviors.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to get off subject, but
it's important though. It was important.
Yeah. So where were we at?
We were talking about Eddie coming.
Eddie coming, and he was already a member, and then he relapsed Armistice Day. And then he had in town hospital in Akron, Ohio, he had a spiritual awakening.
Tell him about it.
And the way he described it was just everything in his body just relieved. He was
the changed person.
He was a changed person. When
it happens quickly, slowly, it doesn't matter. You are a changed person. My situation, I felt the earth shake under my feet. You know, wind went around me, and I was never the same after that.
But he had, like I said, what he considered a spiritual awakening. And then he was going out, you know, kind of like, I'm going to go to hell with a water pistol. Mm-hmm. He was going through alleys, pulling drunks out. Come on, let's go. I got this.
We all want to save the world when we get sober and figure it out. We're like, we got this. Let's all tell everybody. And we go run and tell your friends and drag people to AA meetings that don't want to go. And like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, so Bill was like pulling them off bar stools. And Lois, he's telling Lois, he's like, man, I'm trying so hard, but these fuckers won't listen to me. And Ann said, well, it's keeping you sober.
Right.
And so he went to Dr. Silkworth and he's like, you know, Doc, they just won't listen. He said, oh, I've heard about your little shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pull them off the stool. Tell them your story. Just like I told you your story.
Mm-hmm. And that started working, huh?
And then that's when that started. Instead of pushing, just tell them your story.
What's one of our traditions? We're about what is it? No promotion.
Yeah, spiritual perfection.
No. It's attraction rather than promotion. So like, because I got sober and people see that and know the old me, they'd be like, oh, how did you do that? Well, let me show you. Instead of wearing an AA t-shirt and dragging people from the bar to the AA building.
Right. So that, him going and talking to some of the drunks in New York whenever he went to Akron, he was there on a business deal, went south. He realized working with other alcoholics, got in touch with Henrietta Bill. We've already been through all that. But then the day after they met for hours, they literally were best friends. Lois came. He got in touch with Lois, got her on a train from New York to Akron, Ohio. I mean, they stayed there. And the wives, Anne and Lois, they got to be good friends.
They started the Al-Anon,
Yeah.
which is spiritual in nature as well, and have 12 steps, and they have meetings just like we do because they have been sick with us.
Well, it was actually Lois and a different Anne, but she was the pioneer.
Yeah.
And Bob Smith's wife. So they started getting together the 12 steps. And they were using a lot of Oxford group because here's how it goes. The first step, Dr. Silkworth done.
I didn't know that.
Okay. The second one is kind of based off Dr. Jung.
Carl.
No, just Dr. Jung.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Jung was a psychiatrist, and he was in with Freud and Abner.
Okay.
And this guy, and this later on down the book, but he was an alcoholic, and he was trying to get some psychiatric help. Freud was not taking new patients. Abner was not. So his third decision was Jung. And the reason the three split up to begin with was because Jung believed that a spiritual awakening could help things.
Oh, so he was the one that brought that. Interesting. I love all this information you have learned, Kathy. This is awesome. She teaches me stuff every day about all this, and I'm like so impressed with all the stuff that she's taken time to learn. It's important.
Yeah.
It's important to know the history of something that you practice day in and day out all day long.
Yeah. Because if I don't, I blow shit up.
I don't like to blow shit up. How long have we been going? We might have time to do your first step if you want.
I can't tell.
How long we got? Let's see.
Where's your phone?
Yeah, it's 3:32. We could do it. You want to do step 1 today?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Let's do it. Let me get the books and everything we need, and we can do step 1 today. No big deal. I'm coming.
I'm just messing with you.
There is something that I wanted to show everyone that I got years ago. You know, all of us alcoholics lie to each other, but I felt like I still needed a step to work. So I bought this book. It's called The 12 Steps for anyone. I highly recommend you pick it up. If you're not an alcoholic and you want to work some steps, this thing is awesome. So we're going to start with the first step because that's where we're supposed to start. What's the first step?
You're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gonna put me on the spot like this? Came to believe the power greater than art. Jeez.
Nope.
That is not it.
That is not it. The first step. The first step is admitting that we are powerless over alcohol and that our lives have become unmanageable.
Yes.
Now, you can put anything in that spot. You can say powerless over shopping, cigarettes, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever you want. Okay? Those are the 12 steps. That's the first step, and that's what we're going to watch. Let me read today. It says that nobody normal likes to admit that they are powerless.
Oh, Jesus.
Nobody wants to admit, complete powerless. and nobody wants to say that their lives are unmanageable, but they are, especially for an alcoholic or addict. And more, I'm powerless over more things than I ever thought. People, places, things, anything that's not myself. And sometimes I'm powerless over myself. You know, my body does something that I can't control. But I have a lot of unmanageability in my life too that I need to work out. We all fight to keep our heads above water, to control and to keep from being controlled by others. It says that we first have to be the smartest, fastest, and most handsome or beautiful person, and we have to have the best job. We brag, we show off, and we're proud. We're proud of our home, our town, our state, our country, our children, and our acquaintances. But we are anything but powerless over anything.
And who wants to admit they're powerless?
I don't want to.
I mean, that's where a lot of alcoholics, and I'm speaking me as an alcoholic, I didn't want to admit that I was powerless over a damn thing.
It's hard.
I was a functioning grown ass woman. I did not want to admit I was powerless, because I was the one with the house for so many years, the career, and you know, I didn't want to admit that shit.
So when you finally realize that stuff's taken over your life,
Jesus God,
when it has gotten to the point to where your life is failing, you know, you're getting rid of your house, your car, your kids, nobody wants to talk to you, you have no money in the bank, and you're at rock bottom. That's when you finally get to the point and say, maybe there's something to this power. Maybe. So
yeah, perhaps
I might have a problem.
Yeah.
There's no need to continue to struggle. And when you've surrendered, it actually feels good. Scary, perhaps, but good. Once the load is lifted from our shoulders, the shoulders is greater than fear of giving up and pain of continuing the struggle. Many of us choose to surrender only when we become absolutely convinced that we have truly reached the end of our resources. We have not a single ounce of fight left in us. The only alternative we have, other than surrender, are to go totally insane or die. At that point, our choice is often not even a conscious one, but it is made by our higher power. Wow, yes, yes, yes. Mine was made by my higher power too.
Oh yeah,
wholeheartedly,
100%. Because at the end of the day, who have you got besides that?
Nothing. And I was left many a time with just my higher power. Nobody would take me to a meeting. Nobody would feed me. Nobody would come get me. I was literally left with just me and God. And honestly, it was a blessing because I created a relationship with Him. And at the time, it didn't feel all that great being alone with just me and a Bible. But you know what? At the end of it, I'm so grateful for that time. I am now. At the time, it was awful.
Yeah. That's why whenever I say Piper is my angel, like, it was just me and her a lot of dark nights, you know, where I'd sit here and I'd be like alone, stuck in my head, I'm not going to go anywhere, you know. I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
It would talk me out of it. My head.
Your disease wants you dead.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's so much as that is I got to work on my mind being, you know, not keep me at home so I'll relapse. It's just, it's hard whenever you first get sober.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, now I'm like, okay, go on a sober date. That terrified me. Because I haven't been on a sober date in forever.
A couple of my sponsees recently have gone on first dates, and these are all first dates in sobriety, and everything had changed for these people. No longer was it about how much you could drink. No longer was it about jumping in bed with this person. No longer was it about continuing to hang out with them if you really didn't have anything to do with them.
Right.
You know, being honest about, hey, this isn't working. And it's a scary thing because you spent your whole life going on dates drunk or high. And like, then it was time to do it sober. And that is terrifying.
It is. It is. I mean,
tell how you got through it though.
Well, I did Valentine's.
Yes, you did.
I went on my first sober date after he was kind enough to ask your permission.
Yeah, he did ask my permission, and I do like him, so we're gonna keep him around a while. Keep going.
So he was a complete gentleman. He got me a dozen roses. We went to lunch, and just walked around. He was a complete gentleman.
But it was more scary in your mind.
It was more scary in my mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was terrified, and just that's just me.
Yeah.
Because it's new.
It's new.
And I ended up having a great time.
Good.
I had a really good time. But there's a lot of firsts that you have to go through, and
I've had to go to my first baseball game sober.
Yes.
My first concert sober, my first wedding sober. I was already married when I got sober, so, there was a lot that we experienced together.
First sober
Christmas and Thanksgiving, because we were always drinking at those holidays and cooking and doing things. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, your first getting sober are scary and they're hard.
Yes, even going the first time I went to a Mexican restaurant.
Girl, we talked about this the other night.
Oh, my God.
I
would not go by myself, but as soon as I got out of rehab, I was like, I got to go ahead and do it while I have a sober friend. And Tina Martin
That was my next thing, is that
Tina Martin took me.
Always take a sober friend to a first, okay?
Yep.
So like Braves game or whatever. I had a lady take me my first time, and it was awesome. But I grew up a Braves fan, going with my dad, and then when I grew up, I would go and we'd stay drunk in the 755 Club. So somebody took me, or I probably would have drank.
Yeah,
I had somebody take me. Always, if you're scared, have a sober friend.
Well, Tina, she and that, knew I just got out of rehab. She knew. I mean, she actually went to an AA meeting and stuff, or an Al-Anon meeting, I'm not sure. She knew. Right. So whenever I said I want a sober friend to go, it wasn't just one that would say, oh, you can have one. I took someone who knew.
Oh, yeah. Don't take somebody that would allow it, even if they're just sober and they're like, oh, it's fine if it's just one.
Don't just have one. I knew she wouldn't let me do that.
Don't do that.
So I made sure that she was there. And I had, a couple of people who, Nicole was one, this is fresh out of sobriety. She knew. Bitch, you ain't drinking shit. Are you? She actually went to the conference with me.
Oh, I remember that.
The Founders
Day.
For AA that they do in Akron, Ohio. The first weekend, don't quote me on this, but it's in June. Last year it was June 7th and 8th, because, of course, I got on a plane as I was telling the husband, never see you again, deuces, catch the plane.
Wow, that was I can't believe you did that. That's so cool, though, that you got through it and you're sober still.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the second part, is unmanageability, okay? It is often difficult for us to accept and may generate as much resistance at first. After all, we rationalize we still have a good job, or manage a house, or still get the kids off to school in the morning or bed tonight. So what do we have? Depressions every 3 days that last for 2 days? Or what if I need to get drunk during a break to even wash dishes, or it says something about to start fights with friends and strangers. But one of the slogans of the program is, it is an honest program. And little by little, though, listening to others tell their stories in meetings, identifying with those feelings strike a chord in us, we begin to understand the meaning of this slogan. It means that if we want to improve, we must stop rationalizing, making excuses, and admit that we have become unmanageable and that we need to fix things in our lives, patch them up, and admit our personal powerlessness.
That is
being that's a twofold thing too, being unmanageable and
Powerless.
That's hard. The first step is having to admit that we can't control something and that everything we touch is shit.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
And that's what you're exactly right. That's the part of it.
That is so hard to admit to yourself.
It is. Who wants to admit that to themselves? I know I didn't want to.
Now, not only do you think I drink too much, but now my life's unmanageable and I can't control anything. That's, wow.
You know? Yeah, it's.
But my life is still unmanageable at times. I still have unmanageability.
Same.
And I'm working on it. I still have those problems, but we are surely doing our best to move forward and trying to do better with everything in my life. But I will tell you this: when I got sober, the first time, I was a serious pill addict. I didn't have custody of my kids. I lived in a house that was dilapidated and falling apart. I didn't get out of bed, whether I had them or I didn't. My husband hated me. My kids couldn't stand me. And I thought that my life was perfect. I was like, woohoo, I'm doing it. And we really lie to ourselves so much.
Yeah.
And when I finally went to rehab and surrendered and stepped back and looked at my life, I was like, holy crap, there is so much wrong here. And woo, Lord. But it was almost like a light switch went off the minute I admitted it. The minute I came to believe, wait a minute, eating 28 pills a day is not normal. Laying in a bed all day while your children do what they want is not normal. Living in a house that's falling apart and you don't have custody of not one of your children, but your 18-year-old does, should be a hint that maybe there might be a problem. Maybe, just a little bit. So once I did that, once I admitted my personal powerlessness and my unmanageability, things started to change.
Yes.
Things started to change. I wrote down all the things in my life that were unmanageable, and I went through them with my sponsor. I looked at the stuff that I did before and the stuff that I'm doing now. And some of them are the same. A lot of them are, but a lot of them are not, because I've grown within what I'm doing. The powerlessness is the hardest part, though. God. To admit that I have zero control over anything but myself. Okay?
That is so much what I struggle with, because I want so much. I can't control it, though. It's like
the way somebody treated me the other day, you have no control over that.
Yes.
The way that I'm talked to at my job, I have no control over that.
Right.
The weather, I have no control over that.
Yes.
When I used to think that if the part in A book where it talks about that if everybody would just act right and do what I say, things would be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. So this is real life. Not everybody is going to listen to what I say and do what I say. And, obviously I'm in no condition to tell anybody else how to live their life or do anything. But at the time I thought I was Queen Elizabeth. I was Queen Elizabeth. I knew exactly what was going on. I was, doing all of these things ass backwards, and I was convincing everybody. I thought I was convincing everybody that I was good, but I was not. So once I did that and admitted everything, my life got a lot better. I do have a problem still with control. I'll admit it.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to be able to control what my children do and what my husband says, and I still want to be in control of other things, but I have to be reminded, and I have to stop and realize that I'm not my children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not my husband, and that I have to say that serenity prayer multiple times a day, multiple times a day. That serenity prayer that if it's not something I can control, then I just have to stop.
Yes. And you're talking about that, you do it multiple times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of struggling with balancing things right now, being full-time sponsor, doing special meetings, doing this, doing the full-time job and stuff like that. And anything I've ever done in my life, I want to be the best at.
Yes, me too.
And
I'm all or nothing.
And I'm having a hard time. That's the way I was before.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started drinking. So maybe that little bit of perfectionist that I strive so hard for. I don't think so because I still want to be the best, but I don't have to be the best.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
And that was something I really, really struggle. If my boss said, "Hey, go scrub that toilet," it's gonna be the best damn scrubbed toilet there is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something I struggle with because life is like,
We're people pleasers too, though.
and being an alcoholic's a 24-hour a day job.
Mm-hmm.
It
is.
I mean, there's a lot of balancing acts. And there are some times during the day I have to just stop what I'm doing, do my serenity prayer, take a deep breath,
keep going.
And keep going. And that right there is what keeps me sane.
Mm-hmm.
And even on my desk now, I say so many prayers that, and they're private, I'm not going to repeat them, but it's so memorized in my head that sometimes I just close my eyes and, boom, and then I'm okay.
So
but
that's good that works for you.
I have to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm going to try to start controlling what other people are doing.
And that gets us nowhere but back in the bottle.
I'm like, you need to do this. And I have to catch myself. And I have to humble myself and apologize.
Even non-alcoholics now, when I would tell somebody some advice, I say, you need to, and I've stopped doing that. And I say, I'm just going to suggest that you do this. I don't even tell people what you need to do anymore. It's, hey, can I suggest something to you? This is my suggestion. Mm-hmm. And I don't ever say you need to anymore because I know that saying you need to is me directly telling them to do something. Like I can control it. So if I say, hey, look, I'm suggesting this to you. So if they don't take my suggestion, I can't get hurt. It's just a suggestion, not a command of what somebody needs to do with their life.
Those are some deep, deep words because, as alcoholics, we want to have our finger in everything.
You and you.
We just do. We blow shit up.
We do blow shit up. I'm gonna find that. Let me see that big book real quick because I wanted to find something while you keep talking.
With me, I am trying to do the whole balance, and like I said, sometimes I do get a little overwhelmed with stuff, and
that's the word I don't understand. That and moderation, balance and moderation.
Yes,
I don't get those words.
Yes, and there's some days I'm like, I'm not leaving my house. I am going to relax, And yesterday I was like, Christy Johnson done my hair, and I went to the grocery store, run a couple of errands, went and checked on an old friend, and
there, I got what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
I come home and I was like, I'm not getting back out, and I just sat here and just talked to a special friend of mine on the phone until, 11:30, probably midnight. Yeah, I was up way past my bedtime. Whew. I suffered for that though, because I sat there and then I was up till 5:30. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was one of those nights where you just have a feeling somebody somewhere, that sixth sense that something's going on. I had that all night. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. I don't know.
Feel better now?
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of said, if they need me, they'll call me. I mean,
this is what I'm going to tell y'all too, real quick. It says, dang, I'll keep dropping everything out of here. Go back in there.
Don't be breaking
I'm not breaking it. I got to get it back in there because I want to read this. Because this is truly how the alcoholic feels. And this is truly how I felt. And it is in the big book if I can get it back in there.
Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and do it.
Here, I'm trying to pull it out. That way at least I can read it.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, it says, the first requirement is that we have to be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we're almost always in collision with something or someone. God, yes.
Someone.
Even though our motives are good, most people try to live by self-propulsion. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show. It is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, and the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. His arrangements would only, if only his arrangements would stay put. If only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make sense of these arrangements, our actor is sometimes quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, and even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. But within most humans, he is more likely to have varied traits. What usually happens? The show does not come off very well. He begins to think that life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more, and he becomes on the next occasion still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him. Admitting he might be somewhat at fault, he's sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, and self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? He is not really a self-seeker, even when trying to be kind. Is he not a victim of a delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if only he manages well? It is not evident to the rest of the players that these are the things he wants. And do not his actions make each of them wish to retaliate, snatching all they can get out of the show? He is not even his best moments a producer of confusion rather than harmony. Y'all, that says so much about the alcoholic. Like, if I could just control here and all of this and throw all this together and y'all just listen, it's going to be a beautiful thing. But they don't. And so we get mad. And we start showing our asses and blowing shit up consistently. And then it's suddenly their fault that everything's wrong when we were the ones that fucked the whole thing up from the very beginning.
It's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
I mean,
that was me to a T.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was me to a T. If anybody would just do what I said, everything would be great.
Yes. You know, I was sitting there with the husband. You got to go to Al-Anon meetings. You got to go. And I got to where I would almost try to trick him and say, give me a ride up there, and it would be Al-Anon night, and I'd say, hey, you want to go inside? It's in a different room, and it wasn't his cup of tea.
Right.
But he sat in the parking lot and let me go do my meeting, and then, you know, we went out to eat and stuff, but it was never his thing. So,
but you wanted it to be.
I wanted it. I was like,
pushing.
I'm doing so good with AA. Why don't you? I was doing that pushing. And then I started thinking, I'm going to show him. And I did. You know,
attraction rather than promotion.
Right. Things started working out. And, you know, it was just, it was too late by that point.
Right.
You know, but I mean, life now is freaking fantabulous, so I can't really complain.
Well, if you follow your steps, you do the next right thing, you stay honest. What are the four absolutes again? Honesty, unselfishness, love, and something. Just those four. I have to look them up again. Just those four. If you do those four things every day, you're going to be okay.
Gosh, our memory sucks.
I know it's bad.
I think it's
four absolutes.
I think it's just all the stuff we have to read through and everything.
But all the information, that we have to keep at one time. The four absolutes. I just saw them. Okay, honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love.
Love.
So those four things, if you just do those four things every day, you know, and check
so
your
do
motives.
the right shit.
Check your motives. Check your motives.
Check your motives.
It says telling the truth and the whole truth in all matters. Absolute purity is maintaining integrity in thoughts, motives, and actions. Absolute unselfishness is prioritizing the needs of others and removing self-centeredness. And absolute love is acting with selfless, unconditional love, often interpreted as divine Christ-like love.
Yeah.
Ooh, girl.
See, it's just like I tell people, I'm like, I can't lie. But, I mean, I can't. I have to be truthful. I can't.
Yeah.
You know
what? My favorite thing is if I'm going to hurt somebody by telling the truth, I just don't say anything.
Yeah. I
just don't say anything.
It would be against my steps to to lie and then have to go back and try to keep up with the lies. Way.
We did too much of that years ago.
Yeah. Now my memory sucks, so I have to remember the truth. I can't remember the lies like we used to.
Well, sometimes I don't even remember the truth
I can remember
anymore.
a lot of stuff.
Sometimes I don't even remember the truth anymore. You know, like the stuff that I was telling back then.
Right.
Like the stuff I told back then, like when somebody asks me about something back then, sometimes I don't really remember what's true because I lied to myself so much.
I don't remember because I was drunk.
Well, we were on two different, you were drunk and I was high. So a lot of times I still have memories of the things that I did and the things that I said. And, you know, I to this day don't know what's true and false.
I told you, shit, I had my dude bringing alcohol over here, $10 a pop. He'd hide it from the husband. I hid one time in the damn shower. So I didn't want him to find me.
You don't see me. You
Yes,
don't know.
that's what I was doing.
You don't know. You don't see me.
I didn't want him to, I knew he had to leave for work at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I didn't want him to know I was drunk. So I went in there and hid in a bathtub, like with the shower curtain. And he was looking for me to tell me bye. And he couldn't find me. He come in there and slung that shit open.
You weren't even in the water. You were just.
Oh, I was in my clothes,
Kathy.
with my bottle.
Oh my
And he said,
God.
"What the hell?" And I'm like, "What?"
That's awful, Kathy. That's funny.
I'm telling you, I was horrible.
I believe you.
I was horrible, but
I was bad about playing possum. I would lay there all night and not move. I just lay there, wide awake, geeked out of my mind, looking around going,
what the fuck?
and then when the alarm would go off, I thought, thank God. And I would just like pretend I was asleep.
Right.
And then he'd get up and leave, and girl finally could get up, smoke, take me another line, go on about my day. And I was bad about that. And then finally one day he told me he knew I was playing possum the whole time, and it wasn't even like worth me doing.
And you know, one thing, well, maybe this is not a thing, but while I was at rehab, a lot of bottles that were stashed everywhere were picked up and thrown away. And
I
you know,
have found multiple
there
bottles
was-
from people like that.
There was 3 black trash bags
Full of bottles that were found.
full of bottles where I would hide them.
Why do y'all do that? Because my uncle
Because
did
we
that.
don't want to hear the damn husband bitching.
So you don't put them in the trash. You think he'll just go back and get it
Oh
later?
no, he would. He'd go through the trash and get the bottles and put them up on the counter like.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you hit him though, to keep him from doing that.
Because he done that a couple of times, like, bitch, what? And I drank. I was so bad that I run out of my alcohol, and he's not a drinker, but every way now and again he would do like a Buffalo chase, whatever it was, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And on his off day, just one little
One
thing.
drink.
Yeah. And I was so desperate, I went out there and drank all of it.
Ugh, God, Buffalo Trace is awful.
And I was like, he won't notice. And I put it in the trash. That freaking bottle was up on the counter beside that other bottle. And I was like, he said, "So, you're drinking that now?" I was like, "No, I just run out of mine."
Run out of yours.
You know? I mean, that's just the truth. And I give credit where credit's due. He really, you know, he was trying to call me out on my bullshit. I won't hear that.
None of us did. I didn't want to hear anybody
No.
say anything about how I acted the night before. I didn't want anybody to tell me anything. Like I told you, my ex-husband and I got in a fight over a bottle of pills.
Yeah.
You know, and it ended up all over the floor, and he's stomping on the floor, and I'm down there licking him up. I mean, that's some sick behavior. I was convinced that there was nothing wrong with me, it was wrong with him, and that I didn't have a problem. He had a problem with my problem. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And so,
I'm not the problem. You're the problem.
you have a problem.
You're the reason I am the way I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I do what I do, because of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Today, there's a whole new us, and we don't ever have to live like that again.
Thank
because we admitted that we were powerless and that our lives have become unmanageable. And daily, we work on our powerlessness and we work on our unmanageability traits, just like anybody. And guess what? Today we live a lot happier lives. And that sting of, okay, I admit defeat is over with, way over with. And we feel like new people.
And we're rocking this shit.
Rocking it, killing it every day.
Sober. I mean,
Who'd have thought that?
who would have thought it?
Nobody.
You know, we have so many people that give such positive. God, we love y'all.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. Everybody who's reached out
Man.
and said something about us, we appreciate it. You know, we are so glad that we're touching people and that people are seeing it and people are loving it and people are watching it, because you know that's our whole goal here. If we help one person,
Exactly.
if we do 400 of these and one person gets sober and comes back and says, "Hey, you helped me today,"
That's all we want.
that's all we want.
We're good. We're good. We're not eating. That's all we're trying to do is help. Because there for so long I didn't think there was.
I didn't either. I was the same way.
And you know, now that I know, I want to tell, hey, there is a solution.
You're gonna pull them off bar stools and take them to AA meetings?
I thought about that, but no.
The bars might get mad at you for taking all their customers. Pull up with the AA van right in front of the bar and be like, "Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody get in and leave the bar sitting there."
No, when somebody hits us up over here and they're like, "Hey, I'm interested," I'm like, all I can do is tell you what I did.
Yeah, we can only lead you to water. We cannot make you drink it. But once you get unhappy, once you get enough of it, once you get tired,
You gotta be tired.
you gotta be tired of your own
That's
bullshit.
what, my first sponsee, I said, "Why do you want to get sober?" She said, "Because I'm tired."
Oh God. Oh,
And that's all it took. I said,
I feel that right here. I'm tired.
because I wouldn't even, at the time we had so much shit going on and the concerts, I really didn't have time. But whenever she said I'm tired, I said, yeah, that's my first sponsee.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all she said was, "I'm tired, Miss Kathy."
Like that almost brings tears to my eyes, because I feel that in my soul. God, being tired like that. Whew.
She said, "I'm tired." And
Let's see what time we got going here. It's time for us to go.
oh, is it?
Yes, 4:06.
Gotcha. All right.
You want to do our numbers real quick and our prayer?
Yeah, here, you do the numbers.
Yay, I can do the numbers for once. All right, y'all. There's help, and you can get it for free even if you don't have insurance. We have a helpline, 1-800-662-HELP. That is 1-800-662-4357. We'll make it into a chair. 4357. We also have findtreatment.gov. They are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have a Kratom helpline. Kratom is a drug, people. And if you're taking it every day, multiple times, what? Well, let's have it on there. Okay, it's a drug, and I can't say it on there, so I'm not going to say it again. This is the helpline, 866-210-1303. And the suicide and crisis line is just 988 on your phone. That's all you gotta do, is hit 988 send. And let's pray.
Let's do it.
All right. Got some rules on here. Golly.
Piper.
Come on, Piper. You come pray?
We Piper.
Yeah.
Hold
here.
on a second. We gotta grab our
Mascot.
Our mascot.
She'll come over here with me. She's been being weird today.
She's been dogs feel their owner's stress, and I think she's just feeling, she's.
Well, you've been in pain and you had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Ready? All right.
God,
Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. My mouth got sharp. See y'all next week for step 2.
If nobody tells you today that they love you, remember.
We do, all of us. And next week, we'll do step 2. Sounds good. Bye, y'all. I will turn this off.
Still
Still on.